From 1920 to 1995, the All Saints Neighborhood Center was originally used as a church for the Catholic parish, but was known as the All Saints Church. The church had originally planned to be temporary. However, it continued to function as a church dedicated to serving the Lithuanian immigrants in the community until 1995, when a majority of the Lithuanian community moved. Since its function as a church, the building has undergone several renovation projects, including the addition of the basement, which was dug out by hand by the men of the parish who also completed the interior finish work. In 1960, the siding was provided with imitation stone as well as a convent next door. By the 1970s, the interior of the church was remodeled and a thin brick siding was added. Fast forward to when the church eventually closed in 1995, the statues and furniture were then shipped to a church in Lithuania. In 1997, an agency was created with the support of stakeholders linked to the parish. It was during this time that Neighborhood Centers Incorporated was created to provide youth and adult programming.
So you and I started with a group of parishioners at All Saints Church, which is now gone because of the bridge. The building that we're sitting in, All Saints Neighborhood Center, was the church that was in here was closing, and so the parishioners of All Saints Church really wanted to have a presence in the neighborhood, and so they started to talk with the archdiocese about turning the church into a neighborhood center. And initially their thought was that they'd have caseworkers here and sort of a social service kind of framework. And our founding executive director was interviewing for the job, and he really laid out this vision for the group that was hiring him around how you think about both people and place, and that you offer opportunities to people, and that you improve the places around them.
So in 1997, I retired from the city of Detroit after I found an ad in the paper by All Saints Neighborhood Center. It was just a little ad, but it said All Saints, not Neighborhood Center, All Saints Catholic Parish is starting a neighborhood center and is looking for an executive director.
By 1998, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated provided Tuesday night after-school programming, and by the second year, began providing adult education classes including ESL, computerized GED instruction, computer basics, and Microsoft Office training. In 2000, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated expanded its efforts by purchasing the lot that is now known as Springdale Greens Play Lot. Groundbreaking began in 2003, and the lot was completely cleared and trees were planted. Construction of the park was completed by 2005.
And there had been a drug house in the middle, and a half torn down house, and an old boat, and a dead tree. Those were the features of the 8 lots across the street. So when they saw all those cement trucks, 21 truckloads of cement putting in a new sidewalk and that trail around, when they saw the pavilion going up, they really got excited. And one day we had just put in the new sod and it was finally complete.
During the same year, the All Saints Neighborhood Center building underwent more renovations. The exterior was stripped and repainted, and new windows and doors were installed. The lower level of the building underwent demolition, insulation, cement, AC installation, a new ceiling, and the creation of learning rooms. Additional renovations to the building include a receptionist area, updates to the main floor, alcoves, and office spaces. During the 2007-2008 school year, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated began operating an after-school program at Harms Elementary School for 150 children using funds from the Michigan Department of Human Services, which totaled $112,000. The same year, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated expanded youth programs to Phoenix Elementary and Middle School. This made it possible for Neighborhood Centers Incorporated to establish more partnerships with local schools and community organizations. expand programming based on student needs, and operate programs such as Real Media at Western International High School and Phoenix Elementary. In 2008, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated and Madonna University began a partnership to create Bridge Camp, a week-long summer program designed to give youth a college experience and provide workshops such as television production, marine biology, and college preparation.
Hold on.
Isn't the recording that
Oh, I
button?
got it. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little. Never mind. Wait.
One of my favorite UNI memories is going to Bridge Camp. We would go to Bridge Camp for a week long at Madonna University in the summer, and it was just really great to be in a space. And that was, I think I was like in 8th grade that first year. And it was just a really great space to be able to get to meet college students, but also visit the campus and be there for a week and just be able to do things differently. There was like for example, I think they had like a newsroom where they filmed and they did like some shows there. So it was really just cool to see different classes that we could take in college. And we went to field trips. We went to Belle Isle. We just did a lot of things during that week-long trip. And just being able to be with other youth my age and being able to build community with them was, I think, one of my favorite memories.
The same year, the apprenticeship program was piloted. This program aimed to provide youth with paid work experience with local businesses as well as professionalism workshops. During this pilot year, the apprenticeship program served 25 youth.
I'm so sorry for laughing. Okay. So I have been involved with UNI since 2013 when I was a part of their GDYT program. Back then, it was called their apprenticeship program. So I was 15 years old and I joined. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew my sister was involved in community organizing and she told me that there was a job opportunity for young people. So I was like, oh, at 15, like I can get paid to do something. So I decided to do it. And I did it all for a summer, and that's how I kind of started at UNI. During my time here, like I said, I was a part of the GDYT summer experience, and I got placed at Chas Center, so through the La Vida program. And it was such a fun opportunity. They really saw that I was a good candidate there, and so they offered me a part-time position when I was starting college. And that was my first ever like big girl job, and so I was really thankful that UNI let me have that opportunity, because if it wasn't through them, I wouldn't be able to have that part-time job. So I gained that professional skill of having a part-time job at a qualified health center. And then once I graduated college, I still stayed there and they offered me a full-time position. So I was able to gain those skills, that skill set, and really write out my resume to have all of those things. And it was all because of like the summer opportunity where they placed me at that location.
In 2009, the Southwest Urban Arts Mural Project was established. Since its creation, Swamp Youth have created over 20 murals throughout their neighborhood, including murals for residents and local businesses. This program aims to assist youth with developing their technical art skills as well as contribute to the beautification efforts of the neighborhood.
Oh no.
Wait, is it recording? Oh.
Can you tell me about your current role as a lead artist?
I kind of like will do like workshops for art workshops for youth and like the pre-planning of that. So like actually making like the slideshows and the curriculum for the workshops. And like in the summer when we're painting murals, we'll be off at different sites. So Mariah's not with us all the time, so I'm kind of like overseeing the youth.
What skills have you acquired from your involvement in the program?
Mostly like public speaking skills and facilitation skills. I feel like that helps a lot just for like future stuff. I feel like it made me like a bit more confident just to like speak.
What has been your favorite part of programming?
Probably summer field trips. There's this one that we've gone on like twice, that we're making like a yearly thing where we have a mural tour, and we go to this place in like Royal Oak, and we have like a pottery class. So we all make like our own bowls. And it's really fun.
The same year, Neighborhood Centers Incorporated became known as Urban Neighborhood Initiatives in order to accurately reflect the services of the organization. By 2013, Urban Neighborhood Initiatives land stewardship efforts began. The Land Stewardship Program aims to collaborate with residents and community stakeholders to identify and transform lots as part of beautification efforts.
When our former curator of parks and public spaces, Lisa, came on through an AmeriCorps program, she worked with our community development program manager at the time, Tiffany Tononi, on developing this land stewardship idea where residents would nominate lots to have be focused on, and that we would clean them up, maintain them, beautify them.
Currently, the organization stewards roughly 28 lots measuring just over 3 acres. Through community collaborations and volunteers, UNI has been able to continue its work through lot maintenance and transformation. What accomplishments have you observed UNI attain in land use efforts?
An accomplishment I've noticed is just all the lots that UNI has been working on. I know there's a couple of teams like Green Team and our Southwest Food Team. We have a couple of lots around the neighborhood. I think the main one I noticed is this one here at the Whitaker lot, or Viva la Garden. We have really transformed this lot because we started off with just these 5 beds, and ever since then we've expanded further out into the lot. And there's a lot more space to grow more vegetable, more flowers, and everything just for the community to come by and take. Yeah.
By 2014, Southwest Rides opened. Southwest Rides is Southwest Detroit's only full-service bike shop. The youth specialize in helping the community with their bicycles, whether that be fixing them or teaching them how to fix them on their own. Since its doors opened, the bike shop has since moved from their original location on Springwell Street to Los HQ. Southwest Rides has also expanded its services to provide youth with opportunities to acquire bike mechanical skills and shop management. In 2014, Green Team was created. Green Team participants are responsible for maintenance and beautification in parks and vacant lots in the community. Members work to maintain and transform the space into something resourceful and accessible to the community.
When there was an opportunity to create the Green Team, we did. And we did that so that we had young people also engaging in making decisions about land and caring for that land. So we also started to cross over young people into the land use space and doing sort of what people think of traditional community development.
By 2017, the Quality Team was created. Q-Team is a youth-led evaluation group that performs observations, focus groups, and interviews in order to capture the impact of youth programming at UNI.
My favorite QT memory would be when we were working on a parody of The Office. And so over the summer, we worked on different clips and taking different shots of different programming that happened over the summer to try and recreate an Office themed video about the organization. And I found it really fun to do.
By 2018, UNI expanded their after-school programs by establishing partnerships with Earhart Elementary School, Ninas, and Cesar Chavez Academy Middle School.
Do you think what happened during COVID helped you and I a lot, like with reaching out and getting more people and helping more?
We were able to not only increase our services, we were able to also increase the number of staff and give opportunities in that way. And I think being able to be resilient and persevere during that time, and just continue to also, I feel like the biggest accomplishment of UNI is being able to be adaptive and listen to the needs of the residents, to be able to support them with our resources and programming. I think what happened, it was very unfortunate, everything that happened during COVID. However, I also think that during that time, UNI was able to adapt and really take in the virtual space, and being able to support families and communities in a different way, and not giving up.
In 2020, COVID-19 affected the community. While the pandemic restricted the use of in-person youth programming, UNI continued to provide services to the community. Many programs shifted to an online platform, and partnerships with Gleaners and the Wayne State Mobile Health Unit were established in order to meet the needs of the community. In 2021, despite the challenges that COVID-19 presented, UNI established 2 more programs, one of these being the Southwest Food Cultivators. Southwest Food Cultivator participants are given the opportunity to engage in hands-on work in the culinary and agriculture fields. They are in charge of maintaining the community garden, which provides the community with access to fresh foods.
So we've been able to work on our food safety, food handlers certifications, and we've just learned about how to safely prepare food and just like the do's and don'ts of working in a kitchen. And that kind of comes into play when we're making food for the community. There's like sometimes where we have community events, and we just want to make sure that we prepare everything just properly and safely for the community.
The same year, the mental health advocates were created in order to address the mental health needs of the community. Advocates have provided resources for youth and programming, facilitated wellness workshops, and partnered with local schools to expand their impact.
Having eaten,
Interview, take one.
I like how she actually called me Big T.
Yeah,
I like that. I feel like a boss right now. I remember when was it you, Magda, Delaney,
depends on what it was.
Kathleen, Jeff. I'm always forgetting Jeff. If you put that on there, I'm sorry, Jeff. I just remember how you guys at first were very like nervous and like timid doing your first wellness workshop, and I know I would get frustrated. Like, come on, guys, like, get it together, you know? But I think when you guys facilitate your first wellness workshop and like actually like did the whole planning, and I saw the confidence in you guys' energy and stuff, and you know how you guys actually enjoyed what you guys were doing. I think that was like my favorite memory as a youth employee, as an employer, and not employer. I'm not my own boss. As an employee, as a staff member, because I was able to see like a glimpse of like what I'm doing, like it's worth it, and that I'm having some sort of like, I don't want to say influence, but that I'm being part of your guys' personal growth and professional development. So I thought that was like really cool to actually like see that person. I remember,
Made me cry.
yeah, I remember going home that day and I'm telling my husband like they did an amazing job. Like for one, they're finally like confident, like believe in themselves, which was something like I always wanted you guys, and to be able to do that. And I think also that's always something that I always strive for when the work that I do here, even in my counseling. Like I always want that the end result is that the young person is confident and know that they're capable of doing as long like if they put their heart to it, like I think that they capable of doing whatever they want.
In 2021, Uni also held a soft opening for the construction of the new youth hub, Los HQ. The building was named by the Youth Advisory Board and stands for Leaders of Southwest Headquarters. Today, this space is frequently used for youth programming and community and partner events. The building itself, much like the All Saints Neighborhood Center, has a rich history.
We really wanted to go to young people and have young people do the design. And so we partnered with Detroit Collaborative Design Center, and they trained our young people on their participatory design process. And then our young people co-led those design processes with their peers. And that's how we came up with the design of Los HQ. We then talked with some of our partners to see, like, how do we make sure that our buildings are complementary to other youth serving organizations that are in our footprint. But that's how the design of Los HQ came about. Construction started in late 2020, early 2021. We had our soft opening in October. Los HQ, there was sort of a coup about that because staff, including myself, was like, I don't know. How did we like I didn't even know. I was like, I'm fine with it being called the youth hub, but the naming process was actually done by young people. And there were staff that really, it was so interesting to watch staff really demonstrate allyship with young people to make sure that the name that they selected was that we didn't do what adults do sometimes, which is like, thanks for all your hard work, but we're going to do it this way. They really made sure that that didn't happen. And I think it's a wonderful name. And it was important because you all have been there, obviously, and you've seen the railing. That railing is a custom sign that was done by a neighborhood iron work. Yeah. So all of that was custom. So we really had to wait to do that part of the work until we agreed on what the name of the building was going to be.
The Lawndale Center. This is a cluster. These are two buildings really. One was built in 1923 for a new congregation in the neighborhood. This was a new and growing neighborhood at that time. And this one group, primarily German immigrants, German Lutherans, their church was called Zion Evangelical. And they built the old building next door. And lots in this neighborhood were pretty pricey at that time because this was a going new suburb, basically. And the couple of lots that they paid for in today's money cost them about $70,000 for the lots, in today's money. And then during the Depression, they went bankrupt and closed. And that building was purchased by the Masons. They moved out and sold it to the Moose Lodge. And the Moose Lodge ran it. It was running it when I came into the neighborhood. And at times I walked by here and I thought, well, that is another facility that has a lot of potential.
The building was originally designed around 1922 as a community house with the church to be built on the adjoining lot. In 1923, the groundbreaking for the building began. The building functioned as a Zion Evangelical Church. Eventually, the congregation dissolved as a result of the Depression in 1936 and the land was then sold for $9,000. Eventually, the building becomes the West Gate Masonic Temple Lot. In 1969, an addition was made to the building and remained a lodge until 1997. The building function then changed to the Loyal Order of the Moose, and the Moose Lodge remained the owners of the building until 2010 when the building was foreclosed and became property of the city. Fast forward to around 2013, where Uni purchases and begins renovations to the building, and eventually becomes Los HQ. UNA plans to expand the design of Los HQ, including a space for a Southwest Rides shop. In 2023, the mental health advocates took on the project of the Wellness Hub. Through collaborations with the Youth Advisory Board for grant applications and working alongside an interior designer and contractors, the Wellness Hub was created with the intention to provide youth with a space to unwind.
What can you tell us about the process of creating the Wellness Hub?
So we're currently sitting in the Wellness Hub, and it's one of my biggest accomplishments from my time here at UNI. So it did start back when I wasn't staff. Some of the young people received funding from Skillman to recreate and reconstruct a space for youth to feel welcome, to feel accepted, and to overall like debrief and just hang out. And so when I came on, there was a few staff people that were overseeing the project. And as the director that came on board, I oversaw the project as a whole. So I was able to see where the budget was, hire contractors, make sure that point A to point B was accomplished. And I also worked to make sure that the whole youth wellness hub was youth led. So all of the decisions were run by youth, by our youth advisory board and our mental health advocates. And I worked also very closely with an interior designer to make sure that all of those visions that the youth had came to a reality. This is phase 1 of the project. So I'm really excited to see phase 2 and phase 3 moving forward. But that was kind of like the vision and the purpose of this wellness hub.
From the history of our buildings to the ways that uni programming has changed and evolved for over 2 decades, it is clear that the organization has a rich history that has had a positive impact on our community. Youth programming has influenced hundreds of youth in the neighborhood, and our land use efforts have truly contributed to the revitalization of Springwells.
What is one major accomplishment you have observed UNI obtain?
Seeing UNI celebrate their 25-year anniversary. To me, that's a huge milestone. The fact that they've been involved in the community for that long is honestly really amazing. So I was able to participate in their Heroes of the Neighborhood, where they gave awards for the last 25 years and kind of seeing all of their accomplishments for the last 25 years.
Definitely the youth.
The youth?
The youth. I've seen youth come in here, participating in so many programs, and from there move on to be staff, and there, as they continue to develop their careers, continue to give back to the community. So I think working with youth has been one of our most impactful ways that we've worked in this community. I would say the community development comes second, in that we've worked in partnership, including with youth who provided division for spaces such as the park on Longworth and the Lawndale Center. I think, but because of the vision that youth have brought to that work, that it's just awesome to see the ways in which youth have been have found their power and been able to share what it is they want to see out of UNI.
Okay, so a lot of like mental health issues started to arise, right? Like where before, like prior to COVID, it looked like there wasn't any. There was, but it wasn't like as prevalent because of it. But the fact that such an unexpected like event happened that affected everyone globally, that I think uni did a great job in kind of hearing that from the young people. So prior to them like having the hiring me and stuff like that, I guess they did a survey, a neighborhood survey, and started asking young people what was like a major need for them in order for them to be successful in school and employment, stuff like that. And they brought up mental health, that finding what services are, like finding a therapist that looks like them, things like that. And I think that uni as an agency did a good job in kind of listening to that and find a way to like provide those services and support. So they were able to apply for a grant where for the grant they asked to be able to hire a mental health specialist to do counseling and to do wellness workshops and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I came. That's how my position became what it is because of that need. And I think because of that, I think uni has been successful to start, meeting the mental health needs of young people in our community.
How did you and I impact you the most as a youth participant?
As a youth participant, you and I was there for me when I needed to develop myself socially and emotionally. I really enjoy how this organization puts a preface on SEL as a whole, as well as mental health. And through the organization, I've definitely been able to grow as a person. So yeah.
One of the greatest influence is mainly the garden here, just working on growing food and everything here. It makes me realize like where food comes from, how it's prepared, and I guess usually when you go into like the supermarket, you just kind of grab things, buy things, and then you just like make them at home and don't really think about where exactly it comes from. So this helps me understand more about the process and just being able to make it fresh, just from the garden to your home.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of shaped my career goals because I don't know what I would like. Because I started when I was really young, and I don't think before that I really thought about like what I would do for work besides like the regular 9 to 5. So I don't really know what I would be doing if I hadn't like joined.
I definitely think that youth programming supported sort of getting to know myself a little bit more outside of school and being able to communicate and be able to work with other people in the program. I think also being able to just be exposed to different experiences that I wasn't really used to really, I think, helps support who I am today.
What are some of the qualities that you have observed from staff that you find admirable? I know you mentioned
Yeah,
that.
no, I just mentioned
Yeah, you
it.
mentioned something about it, but what are some of the big qualities that
Yeah.
you really take?
So patience is a huge quality because I think we just have like the reality is, of the neighborhood, we're working out, right? And even there's like a neighborhood I grew up in, hung out with a lot. So it's like we know that our experiences are different from young people who are from downriver or like, Bloomfield Hills or whatever, because we have more responsibility, right? We are first generation Americans, some of us. Some are undocumented, some of us barely have any money, our family, so we have to work, we have to grow up very, very fast at a younger age. So I think as staff, we use our personal experience growing up in the neighborhood and which allows us to have more of that like patience, okay, like empathy comes with that too, like very being empathetic because I know there's times when you guys share things with me and I was like like I understand why because I experienced something similar right to it because of where we at, so I think those are like the major like skills that I think I really like that staff has.
So one thing that I do admire and that I see in all staff at UNI is their love for the Southwest Detroit community and specifically in the department that I work in, their love for youth and creating leadership opportunities for them. I think that it's super important for a young person to have an adult that cares about them and that really encourages them to use their voice. And I see that in all of the staff and all of the adults here at UNI.
I appreciate how hardworking and diligent our staff are. Whenever I need assistance with a report, or I need to collect data, or I need a certain question answered with one of their youth, they almost always get back to me in a timely manner, and they have always been there for me for times of support. So those are definitely qualities that I respect in our staff.
I have a really good team that helps support, and it's been really great to be able to work with other people to do the programming. So it's not a one man. It's not just me and the team. I'm able to work with other great people who some of them have also grown into programming since they were little. So it's been just a really cool experience.
What is your favorite UNI memory?
My favorite UNI memory is probably a recent one. So this year's team, we had a field trip to H Mart, just like a Korean supermarket, and we went out to eat to this Korean barbecue place nearby. So the whole team kind of gathered around. We were all at a big table, just eating together with one another. It was very good food, but it was also nice to just talk with one another. I don't know, just talking about the program, like the future, and just I don't know, enjoying each other's company and having a good time.
My favorite UNI memory was definitely over the summer, transforming this place. It started off as an old computer lab. So for many years, the space had a lot of computers. It had computer chairs. But over the years, we noticed that that wasn't really a need anymore since people are more on their tablets and on laptops. So it shifted to just being like a workspace down here. And so my favorite memory was and still is seeing the space just completely transform. The colors, the furniture that's in here. There's a mural outside that was created by Swamp. So really just seeing like the whole thing transform is my favorite memory. And then also just working very closely with the mental health advocates and the youth advisory board to make this project completely youth led. That's one of my favorite memories. And of course, it was a lot of time and a lot of work that we put into it. But throughout all of that time and all of that work, we really made some really close memories. And also with a lot of the staff that were helping with the project, I got really close to them. So that's one of my favorite memories.
I had to go to this one training, and one, the burritos were really good, but two, at the end of it, they had a bunch of like extra muffins because they had gotten like the blueberry chocolate, like the big ones from Costco, and I had taken like 2 cases because there was so much extra that they were like, please, 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 somebody take these. And I just got a bunch of blueberry muffins, and it was a really good day because those were really good.
When I was doing a summer program, I really enjoyed working with the young people. I always worked with the little ones because I thought they were cute and they were like easier to like work with. Um, I remember I was 19 at the time, I think, and there was this young one of the kids in my group was like, "Oh, Tracy, are you pregnant? No, like, do you have kids?" I'm like, "No, like, I'm only 19, like, I'm still young." He's like, "No, you're not. You're old." He's like, "You need to have kids." Is it too late for me to have kids? Like, yeah, like you should be having, like, you should have kids right now. Like, okay, cool. So
I guess opening day of the park where the kids were lined up on their bikes to ride that trail around. That trail was my idea because I thought we need a park that brings together active people, people with little children, mothers who just want to watch their children, teens that want to throw a ball around on the field. We need all of those generations together in one place. And to see, 10, 12 kids with their eye on that trail and their little bikes, that was a great thing to see them out there. And then one of the last things that happened to me, if I can get through this without crying, I was walking, I got off my car again on another morning across from the park, and a teenage boy, that's triggering another not so nice memory, but anyway, a teenage boy, rather roughly dressed, he was there with a girl, and he had a skateboard. Now, I got to frame this with earlier memories. Walking in the neighborhoods and having teenage kids trying to walk me off the sidewalk, like they didn't see me.
Yeah.
I kept on walking, so like I didn't see them. But well, this kid walks right at me. He's looking at me, and I thought, okay, what's going to happen now? And he said, he just came up to me and he said, "I so love your park." He walked away. So that's unforgettable.
I want to say my funniest memory was probably during Heroes of the Neighborhood. It was this year. Basically, we needed to huddle for like a group photo, but because there were so many of us, it was very difficult for the camera person to like get us all together. So we had to huddle up, and then my best friend, Francisco Maldonado, he had to lay down on the floor and was in a funny pose. So I definitely enjoy that memory.
So I was having a hard time thinking about my funniest memory, but definitely again related to the wellness hub. I remember we were moving stuff out, and it was a lot of work since we are in a basement, and so we were moving some stuff to like storage, and we were throwing some stuff out, and all of us have like really small cars, so we didn't know how we were gonna do it. So I picked up the phone and I called my dad because he has a pickup truck. And I was like, Dad, I need to borrow your car. And he was like, why? Like, what's going on? And I said, well, I need to move some stuff at work. So I ran over to his job, picked up his pickup truck, and here I am like pulling up to you and I with my dad's huge truck. And we filled it up like to the brim. There was even stuff like kind of coming out of it just to be able to move it because my coworker's like, we're only going to do one trip. Like, I don't want to keep doing multiple trips. So that was definitely my favorite memory of just, and the funniest one because I could just imagine like the point of view of someone seeing me like with this truck full of stuff. And it was a lot of like old things. And just like moving it from one place to another was pretty funny. But like I mentioned, it was something that had to be done and we built a lot of like good memories because of it.
This one time I was painting a commission with Mariah. And we had this like giant white paint bucket. I feel like she's told this story before, but she dropped her phone in the paint bucket and it was really funny cuz she fished it out obviously and tried to like wash it out. I don't know how she got the paint out of all of it and it still works. So, that was pretty funny to watch. Probably not for her, but it not being my phone was pretty funny to me.
There was one time where, okay, so it was summer at the center. It was like our first year back after COVID, being able to be in person, but we just had to be outside. And our first day back, it was raining. We had a plan. We were just like, we'll just put tents outside, and because it was sort of like not pouring rain, but just like a little drizzle, so it was fine. And I'm like walking, like everyone's like running in and out, like just trying to get everything ready. And I just hear Chelly be like, no, that's not where it goes, and like just laughing hysterically. And I'm like, what happened? And then I look, and one of our staff members was putting a tent under the pavilion, which was like cracked me up so much because I'm like, okay, like we really want to protect this tent from the rain. So we are going to put it under the pavilion. So I don't know. That was just really funny because obviously the staff member was trying to really be supportive and just like running. And so it was just like very genuine the way that they were doing it. And it just cracked me up. So in that moment, I like lost it, but I feel like you had to be their moment. So yeah. I'm not going to say the staff member's name, but I'm pretty sure they'll know who they are. So.
My funniest UNI memory, honestly, there's a couple, but I'd say it's really just the jokes that the team always has, like during our time working. There's like a lot of silly things that we say to each other, and we can have quite a bit of sarcasm, which can seem a little like funny from people viewing from outside, but we all do it like just like as jokes, as laughs, and we all have like a good time at the end of the day.
Oh, last year, when we were on our mural tour, um, so every time we do that, Mariah rents a van, and Mariah's the one that drives the van. And we were entering this parking structure, and I don't know why, but they had given her like a really tall van, like tall enough that we could stand up inside. Um, and we were entering the parking garage to like go to the pottery workshop, and Mariah was like, do you think we're gonna fit? I don't think we're gonna fit, and we did fit. But when we were leaving, she had to adjust herself to get out of the space, and she scraped the top of the van. Um, and we could like hear it as she was driving, and we were like, oh, and it was really funny, and we bring that up all the time.
At Urban Neighborhood Initiatives, learning and innovation go hand in hand. From unique youth programming and our green space initiatives, the organization truly strives to building a safe and thriving environment for people to live, work, and play.
Adaptive,
Accepting,
Safe.
Inspirational.
Intentional.
resilient,
Development,
welcoming,
Evolving.
community,
Family.
Agile.
Opportunity.
supportive.
transparent,
Consistent.
Youth and resident centered.
Urban Neighborhood Initiatives. We're dedicated to the urban neighborhood, and we take whatever initiatives are necessary to make this a great neighborhood for everybody.
I could never be a vlogger. This is too much.
What is your history with you and I?
She didn't even introduce herself.
I'm so sorry for laughing.
Wanna go again? Yeah. So, we got the tres leches cake. This is your favorite?
Yeah. I like strawberry.
But I've never had the strawberry with tres leches, so this is my first time actually trying it.
Eat it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like it.
Okay, I'll try it. You eat one too.
No, I'll watch you.
Oh.
To see if it's poisonous.
Okay, let me try it.
Confusing. The whole thing was confusing. Anyway. Okay. Got it. I know my words.
Yeah? Yeah. What is your history with you and I? Introduce yourself.
I am hungry.
Ew, my hair's going everywhere. Big teeth. Who's your favorite staff? So my favorite staff. I'm just kidding.
Another question.
Hello. Stop texting people. We're working.
What funny part?
That one right there.
The bloopers.
Are you recording?
No! A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You're not even recording. I am. Yes, she is. Bro.
You have mentioned working with you and I for 3 years. What are some accomplishments you have seen you and I attain?
That's me.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh my god.
Ebony art until we take one. Is that one already recording? Wait, my bad. Do you believe seals have fur?
Seals have fur.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since they were born? I mean, they're not like babies. They're not born like hairless.
Hang on, here, pause it.
We're not doing.
Originally, I wanted to work in some sort of culinary field, mostly like a bakery or like a coffee shop. And now working in Southwest Woods for 3 years, I've been a bit more interested in like continuing this work, continuing the garden work, and just doing a bit more like of you and I related, of a, like.
Wait. Let me just search up Ugly Garfield. Because it's like so good.
That'll be how we introduce her. Let me search up Ugly Garfield. The thing is, I'm also not.
Wait.
Wow.
He is so ugly.
Other neighborhoods, and I think it already is in some respect because I sense that other people are doing similar things. And I know that a lot of the interns we came here who were graduate students really bought into the general ideas. That it's not just about having a basketball program in this neighborhood and after-school program in another neighborhood, and maybe new housing in another neighborhood. Those things don't make for a neighborhood. They just have, and the good that you try to do washes out because of all the negatives. But we were trying to do many things at once so that a neighborhood would say, where people in a neighborhood